Welcome to LeadMaster. In this video, I'm going to show you the advanced version of the Activity Hub. The Activity Hub is a report that shows you all of the activities that are taking place in your database. In a previous video, I showed you the simplified version. That version is available from the My Searches accordion, and this is what it looks like. The advanced version is available as a tab on the home page. Before I explain the features of this report, let me show you how you can configure your system to be able to use this report. First, let's go to Manage Workgroups. Access to Manage Workgroups is a privilege. If you don't have access, contact your LeadMaster administrator or your LeadMaster representative. In tracking, aging, auditing, and logging, we need to enable recording activity logs. Next, in the available reports, we need to make sure that we have access to the Activity Hub. Then we go to Logon Management. In the internal settings, for the reports that you have available, you either have to have the Activity Hub listed individually or have access to all. Once you've done that, log out, log in, and you're ready to add a dashboard. To create an Activity Hub dashboard like this, first go to Dashboards, add a dashboard. I've got one called the Activity Hub. I prefer having it on its own dashboard because it takes up the full width of the screen. Next, go to the Reports, add a report, select the Activity Hub report, select your dashboard, and you're good to go. I'm going to close this panel so we get to see more of the Activity Hub. To begin, let's review these menus. So under Page Options, the first option is to select the page. This selects the records that we're going to work with for taking actions. I'll go through the actions in a moment. Next, under Page Options, we can clear the page. We can also change the view. Changing the view allows me to specify which fields are visible, in which order, the width of each, and the sort order. Let's take a look. We start with giving it a name. Then we decide whether or not we want everyone in the workgroup to be able to see it. If it's public, everyone will see it. Then we decide, do we want this to be a default view for me or a default view for everyone? Then we decide on the fields that we want. Once I've added a field, I can set the width. To add a field, I simply select it and add it. Once I've added it, I can move it up or down. I can also remove it. And finally, I set the sort preference and then click Submit. Once it's saved, click Submit and it updates the report. Next is the report width. You can enter any number between 800 and 3000. This is convenient for people that have large monitors. Now let's review the actions. First is Archive. This will remove records from this report. It does not do anything with the records in the database, so it doesn't impact your list of accounts or your contacts. It merely removes that record and puts it in an archive. There's no confirmation, it just does it. Next, you can assign. This is the same dialog that you see elsewhere when you're assigning records inside the application. Next, you can add a note. This is a powerful feature because you can add notes to multiple records. In fact, this is the only place in the application where you can add notes to multiple records. Next, delete. This deletes the selected record from the report. You can print or email a record. This is the same window that you see on the sales update page when you choose print or email a record. Click print to print, click email to email. And finally, follow. You may have a lot of activities happening in your database, and you only want to pay attention to a few. That's the point of following. You can follow just the ones that you want to pay attention to. And that brings us to the next section. Right now I'm looking at all records. Here are the ones that I'm following. So I have 3 different companies that I'm following: Alexander & Sons, Carpuccio Corporation, and Vantage Communication. Just like I can follow, I can also unfollow. Let's go back to all records. Notice that I have 2 records here for Vanco Communication. When I follow, even though I only had one selected, it shows me all of the activities for Vanco Communication, and those will also show up on the I'm Following page. Vanco Communications. Let's go back to all records. The next section allows me to exclude my actions, include my actions, or show only my actions. So let's take a look. If I include my actions, additional things appear. If I show only my actions, it narrows it down. And further, if I have more than one activity on a record, I can show only the last action, which will narrow this down so that I only have one record for each company. So there are the last actions. I can show anywhere between 15 and 200 rows. The search function will work across most of the fields that you have displayed. So for example, if I want to see all of the cold lead statuses, type in cold and click go. Erase that, click go, and it removes the filter. If I want to see the account manager Sheila, remove it, click go. The search function also works in the last action. So let's search for landing pages. I can search the archive, and I can also restore archived records. Click Go to Activity Hub to return back to the Activity Hub, and click Refresh to update the report with any new activities that have taken place since you clicked on the tab for the Activity Hub. There are 2 fields that I want to talk about. First is the Take Action. This is a mouse over field, and it shows you all the sales rep comments and notes. You can click on the plus sign, it will open a new window, and you can scroll that. This allows you to see all of the comments and notes, even though they may not fit inside the mouse over window. You can also edit the notes directly from here, adding new notes, deleting, updating. The other field that I want to mention is the Last Action field. This shows me what the last action was. There's also a field that shows me who performed the last action. These fields have a control up at the top, and you can rearrange these. So you can also sort these by clicking on the sort icon. And finally, you can download the data from the activity report. There are a couple of built-in templates, mailing list and basic fields. I've created one that has all fields. I created it by clicking on Manage Download Templates, adding a template, selecting all, giving it a name, and click Save. Once you've done that, you proceed to download, select the download that you'd like, and click Submit. And here are the records from the report. This concludes the video on the advanced version of the Activity Hub.